drawn the star. Please give me a good reading, fate says. Look right. I accept. What is foretold?
Alrighty guys, so the live stream is currently happening now, but we got all the info for Isla right now, and oh my god, the developers truly cooked with this unique healer. There's a lot to look into. We're going to look into it right now. And just by looking at this screen alone, I know it's kind of like, what is going on? So there is a lot of RNG play to this character in terms of there's multiple buffs that she applies depending on whatever tarot card that she pulls. Well, not exactly pulls, but you know, when it comes to using her basic attack, core attack will pop off, and then one of these cards will happen. And then of course, if you use skills, you've got a chance to one of these cards, you know, being popping off basically. So strength increases the user's damage by a certain percentage. The star instantly restores HP equal to a percent of Isla's Wright defense to the entire team. So she scales off from defense and removes debuffs from the entire team. The magician grants a shield equal to Isla's defense to the entire team. Death Shepherd increases damage by 7% in proportion to the target's missing HP. That is insane. I love that. Wheel of Fortune increases the entire team's critical rate and critical hit damage. The World instantly restores HP equal to Isla's defense to the entire team and also grants them a shield. So you get the whole pretty much defense buff. Loving that. The Tower increases dark damage of the dark team members by a certain percent. And then Death increases damage increase stat equal to Isla's damage increase stat. So we have to cater to defensive damage increase when you're scaling her, FYI, with her kit. Keep that in mind. On top of that, if there's a dark team member in the party, it increases their damage increase stat by an additional certain percentage. Clearly she's going to be run with Charlotte and Harper, but this is exactly what I was talking about. You know, when it came to Charlotte and the way I kind of worded it, her being slightly underwhelming compared to the other DPS characters, I was like, you know what, let's just wait for the support unit to come into play. And I was right, they are low-key cooking. So those are all the cards that you can get. So let's, and again, I did take a screenshot because we're going to have to come back to it. Yeah, I'm trying to memorize everything here, so we'll have to come back to it. But let's dive on in with her kit. So basic attack, pretty much, you know, just kind of throwing these tarot cards at the enemy, and it deals dark element damage. She's a dark support kind of given. Now, when she activates the core attack, which is the horoscope, when this skill is used, it grants the strength, the magician, or the Wheel of Fortune effect to the entire team. So you've got one of 3 tarot cards that are being applied here. So you can either increase the user's damage by 7%, you can or provide a shield. And what was the last one? Strength, magician, and Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is critical hit rate and critical hit damage. Ooh, so it's increase the user's damage, provide shield for everyone, or increase critical hit rate and critical hit damage. That is a good, a decent lineup, to be fair. I mean, I feel like a lot of people will be hoping and praying for Wheel of Fortune, so that's on the core attack. QTE. When this skill hits, it will apply knockdown to the target. Fantastic. Once again, you've got a chance to either get Strength, the Magician, or Wheel of Fortune effect to the entire team. So the core attack, the QTE, all have RNG play, and it's specifically these 3 tarot cards that are in play. The support skill, when the skill hits, it removes all debuffs. It removes all debuff zones within the area of the skill and inflicts airborne and the star effect, which is instantly restores HP equal to Isla's defense. So it's the heal. Okay. grants the strength, the magician, or the wheel of fortune effect to the entire team. So not only are we getting healing, not only are we playing a debuff zone, but we're also having 1 of 3 chances on getting one of these buffs. I low-key kind of vibe with the RNG buff that's going on. I am going to say right now, her base kit looks fantastic. I don't know, I'm just a fan. I am truly a fan of what the developers have done here. This is unique, this is something different. It's going to be annoying at times not pulling or not getting the correct card, I will say, but it is what it is, I guess. So that's kind of like the basics things. Going furthermore into her skills now. Skill 1, Cosmic Emergence. So Isla uses a burst of astral energy to recover her allies' HP. So skill 1 is going to be the healing side of it. When the skill hits, it inflicts airborne and the star effect. So keep in mind, healing. When the user uses this skill, it removes all debuff zones within the area. So skill 1 is full on healing. If there's debuffs, if you need to heal, that's what you're going to resort to. Skill 2 on the other hand, when the skill hits, it applies knockdown. It knocks down the target and activates the tower effect, increases dark damage of the dark team members by 7%. So this is more on the offensive side and supporting your dark members to do more damage. And so from all of that, if you do the ultimate skill, so when the skill hits, it inflicts the airborne effect. When the user uses Arcane the World, it activates the world effect, which is HP and shield providing that. And then when the user uses Arcane Death, it activates the death effect, which is increasing damage increase stat of Isla's damage increase. And then if the dark team member is in the party, it increases their damage increase stat by a certain additional amount. Keep in mind, in order to activate the skills, the ultimates, because she has 2 ultimates, it's in correlation to skill 1 and skill 2. So if you activate skill 1, it's Arcane the World. If you activate skill 2, it's Arcane of Death. And it is furthermore explained within the passive, which we'll dive into right about now. Passive: when the user uses stage 3 of their basic attack, it charges their power gauge by 7%. Fantastic. When the user uses Death Nova, their Arcane the World skill becomes Arcane Death. When the user uses Cosmetic Emergence, their Arcane Death skill becomes Arcane the World. As I've just mentioned, if you do skill 1, you get the healing side of the ultimate and the defensive buff. If you do the second skill, it's more on the offensive side, right? Clear as day. So thankfully they didn't make the ultimate RNG. We have full control on whichever ultimate that we want, depending on the skills we activate. Now, this is where things get a little bit more interesting, the dupes. So if you A1 her, when the user uses Death Nova, it charges the power gauge of the second character on the team and decreases their cooldown of their ultimate skill. So, that being said, this changes a lot of things. When you're team building, you want to put the character's ultimate that you want the most to be ready on the second slot. So, honestly, I'm not going to lie. Oh yeah, also, it also enhances the tower effect. I forgot that. A little bit of an additional right there. Again, the tower effect, it enhances the dark damage of dark team members, so that's going to be crazy. But that A1 skill, low-key, I'm going to just say it, A1 has to be a hit. You got to get that A1. That is insane, the fact that the second slot character, you can decrease the ultimate skill. That is, and then keep in mind with how consistent, Isla will be able to get her ultimate. So you can be pretty consistent with reducing your second slot's ultimate. So that is pretty insane, I will say. The minute I read that, fell in love. A2 increased the user's speed by a certain amount and is immune to slow, increases defense by a certain percent. So they've added way more onto that, Jesus Christ. Okay, so that's A2. Let's go over to A3. When the user uses Horoscope, which is the core, Strength, the Magician, and Wheel of Fortune. Oh, it activates all of them. Oh, okay, yeah, A3 is the hit. A3 is the sweet spot. A3 is the sweet spot. I'm just saying it. A3 Loki is the sweet spot. That just completely nullifies the whole RNG play. Are you kidding me? When the user uses Horoscope, it activates Strength, the Magician, and Wheel of Fortune. Okay, I'm getting it to A3. That's it, I'm sold. A4, Dark Team members' dark damage increases by a certain amount, and their damage taken decreases by a certain amount for every Dark Element Hunter on the team. Ooh, that's going to be huge. That kind of reminds me of Amamiya, where she kind of works off from having 2 other wind elements on the team, so that's a given. And then A5, the world and death effects are enhanced. Okay, the Death Shepherd effect is granted to the entire team. Oh, to the entire team? What the? Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay. Increases damage by a certain amount in proportion to the target's missing HP. Oh my god. That is insane right there. Okay, I am a big fan of that A5. So they have absolutely outdone themselves with Isla in terms of just being a full-on unique type of character. And then before we dive on in, increases the user's defense by a certain percent, which is a given. The entire team's defense increases by a certain amount for each dark element hunter on the team. Decreases Isla's Rise ultimate skill cooldown by a certain percent. Oh my god, that's like that kind of reminds me of Mei Lin's weapon. Oh my god. Wait a minute, they have set up Isla to be... You know what, I'll give it to the developers. Yeah, I get it that some people are waiting out for Thomas, I get it, but like, they've really outdone themselves to give us and provide us with a crazy good dark support. So, that is pretty much everything that we have. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. That Loki getting her to A3 just, yeah, opens up a lot of things for this character. Just to have full control. I think A3 really just gives you a full grasp of... getting the most out of Isla, of course, but A3 is a lot to commit to. I completely understand. I mean, I'll give it to the developers. Fair play to what they've done. Obviously, A3 Loki is the sweet spot. If you are still committed to pull for her, I mean, obviously getting the initial kit for this character is still going to be fairly solid, especially with again the support skill and just how much of a helpful character that she'll be for the dark element if that's something that you want to cater to. A1. Smash that out, get that A1, get that cooldown reduction for the second slot. That will help you out tremendously a lot in terms of the consistency of the ultimate play that you can potentially accomplish on that one. That will be extremely solid to have and extremely helpful. So that's kind of where I would say at least try and get it to A1 at the very least. A3 sweet spot most definitely, to have all three of those cards active in just using the core. That is going to be insane to have. I'll give it to the developers. They've outdone themselves. She is a fantastic healer, a unique healer, something fresh. Definitely is going to be changing up the strategic play on how we go about things by having Isla. Fair player, you know, that they pulled out the bag in terms of Thomas being the next character, of course. Again, something that I've mentioned even when Harper and Charlotte released, you know, when it came to those two characters, I did say that, you know, they are going to be released in the custom draw banner, and to those that decided to wait, I mean, fair play, because the amount of custom draw tickets that we're going to be getting, if you want to utilize those to get the two girls right now will be the perfect time to do it, because, you know, the Baron content is out. You want to work on your dark element team, fair play. You've got a lot of custom draw tickets safe to. Same thing could be said about Isla. If you do want to rely on getting her through the custom draw banner, you can do that in 2 hours time. So basically Isla should be in the custom draw banner in December, if that's something that you want to cater to. If you are fully committed for Thomas, that is, I just want to specify that. But no, she is one hell of a dark element support character. Just because of how valuable support characters are, it is low-key worth just getting the initial copy. That is. But I understand that if you want to fully commit to Thomas, and if you're content with your wind element, since of course we have to take into consideration the two elements to factor in for the Baron content, since that's going to be what a lot of us is going to be catering to. Yeah, if you're content with your wind element, then you can again take it easy and rely on pulling her in December. But initial copy will always go the long way just to get that head start and having access to the initial kit. A1, make sure to get that going. But if you want to hit the sweet spot, A3 most definitely. I'm overly impressed. Thank you, developers. This is one hell of a unique, fresh healer that is, yeah, going to make things a little bit more interesting.